For this reason, you shouldn't wear cheap fake eyelashes. Annabella Antonella was on her way back home when she saw a sign that said they put on very cheap fake eyelashes. She went into the shop and asked to have eyelashes put on. When she was ready, Annabella Antonella ran out and left the shop without paying. Very proud of what she had done, she got home and took a shower. Then she called her best friend to tell her everything, and they spent an hour laughing about what she had done. When they finished talking, Annabella Antonella wanted to hang up, but she couldn't get the phone off her face. She started pulling harder and harder, but it was impossible. When she took a shower, the eyelash glue spread all over her face. And that's how Annabella Antonella had to live with a phone stuck to her face forever. For this reason, you shouldn't take the bus at 3 in the morning. Sarah Margarita was a girl who loved going out dancing with her friends, but she never brought money and made her friends pay for everything. One night, when they left the club, her friends got tired of Sarah Margarita using them and didn't let her get in the taxi unless she paid her share. Very offended, Sarah Margarita went to take the bus. She caught the last one that passed by right at 3 in the morning. Once she was on her way home, she decided to close her eyes for a moment and fell asleep. When she woke up, she found that the bus had already reached the end of the route in another country. And that's how Sarah Margarita called her parents to come pick her up, and she ended up waiting forever. For this reason, you shouldn't go into public pools. Tatiana Silvana loved going camping. She liked setting up tents and making campfires. But above all, she liked to bother her classmates. She would scare them at night and play pranks on them. One day she went out to explore and found a beautiful pool, but there was a sign warning that it was forbidden to go in. Tatiana Silvana didn't pay attention and went in anyway. She spent the whole afternoon swimming until suddenly she stepped on something soft and strange. Very scared, she wanted to get out, but the water started to stink and became somewhat cloudy and thick. The pool was actually a pond where all the waste from the camp's bathrooms ended up. That's how Tatiana Silvana was discovered bathing in a pond, and they laughed at her forever. For this reason, you shouldn't get tattoos in cheap places. Elena Jimena was very jealous. She was always fighting with her sister and copying everything she did. One day, her sister decided to get a tattoo, came home and showed it to her. Elena Jimena got so angry that she immediately went out to do the same thing. Since she had little money, she went into the cheapest place she could find and asked the tattoo artist to do it for her, to do it on her face. That way, she could get more attention. After 2 hours, it was done. Elena Jimena looked at herself in the mirror and started screaming. They had tattooed a sandal on her face. She screamed a lot, but it was already too late to complain. That was how Elena Jimena had to live with a sandal tattooed on her face forever. For this reason, you shouldn't use ring lights. Melody Teresa spent all day taking pictures of herself. She loved attracting attention on social media to get lots of likes. One day, she realized she was missing a ring light to make her photos look better. She asked her mother for one, but her mother said no because she didn't have enough money. Very angry, Melody Teresa yelled at her and went out to the street. While she was walking, she saw a store where they were selling the ring light she wanted. She quickly went in, stole it, and ran out. Very proud of her feat, she went back home to take pictures, but she realized she didn't have a tripod to put it on. Then she thought of hanging it from the ceiling with a string. She went to get her phone to set it up and finally take beautiful pictures. But on the way, she tripped and fell inside the ring light she had hung up, and that's how Melody Teresa was never heard from again and remained trapped in her room forever. For this reason, you shouldn't use facial masks. Antonella Silvana loved taking care of her face every time she woke up. She did her routine and put many products on her face to stay young. One day she woke up and saw that all her creams were finished, and if there was something Antonella Silvana loved more than taking care of her face, it was not spending money. She went into her sister's room, stole all her creams and a facial mask. Very proud of her feat, she put it on, noticed a strange smell but didn't pay attention to it, waited 15 minutes, and when she tried to take it off, she couldn't. It was completely stuck to her face. Desperate, she called her sister, and when her sister saw her, instead of helping, she started laughing really hard. What was in the jar wasn't a facial mask, it was her sister's poop, which she had put there for a medical test. That's how Antonella Silvana couldn't take it off and ended up living with a poop mask stuck to her face forever. For this reason, you shouldn't eat McDonald's hamburgers. Geraldine Uranus worked at a famous burger shop. She was the manager, and all she did was mistreat the other employees to feel superior. Everyone was responsible and worked very well, but she always made sure to ruin everything for them so she could then pay them less in their salary. One day, one of her co-workers was cleaning the meat grinder. She had done it perfectly, but Geraldine Uranus came, turned it on, and made it dirty again just to bother her. Very angry, her co-worker started arguing with her and without meaning to, pushed her toward the meat grinder. All her co-workers saw what had happened, but instead of calling the police, they decided to act as if nothing had happened. That's how they made hamburgers out of Geraldine Uranus, sold them at lunch, and kept the secret forever. For this reason, you shouldn't wear high heels. Luana Liliana loved collecting shoes. Every design that came out for sale, she would get it no matter what. Her sister loved them too, but she didn't have enough money to buy them, and Luana Liliana would make fun of her for this. One day, some limited edition high heels went on sale. They were decorated with diamonds and were very expensive. She wanted to buy them, but surprisingly, they were already sold out. Her sister had managed to get them. Very angry, Luana Liliana stole them. Very proud of her feet, she put them on and went out for a walk. When she was on the street, a bunch of pigeons started attacking her. The shoes didn't have diamonds. Actually, it was corn that her sister had glued to some old shoes to make a copy of the originals. That's how the pigeons ate Luana Liliana, and she was left abandoned on the street forever. For this reason, you shouldn't use bath sponges. Candela Antonella loved playing with her cell phone all day, so much that she didn't even clean her room and even skipped school. Her mother, seeing her like that, decided to take her phone away. Very angry, Candela Antonella begged her to give it back, but she didn't succeed. She stole all her mother's savings to buy a better, more expensive phone. She hid in the bathroom to avoid being seen and downloaded Free Fire, Roblox, and Fortnite. Suddenly, she heard a noise and hid her new phone inside a sponge so no one would find out. Later, her mother went into the bathroom and started cleaning with the same sponge where the phone was hidden. When Candela Antonella realized, she ran to take it away from her, but on the way she tripped and fell straight into the toilet. That's how Candela Antonella lost her new phone and got stuck in a toilet forever. For this reason, you shouldn't use colored contact lenses. Estefania Gisela was a teenager who spent all her time on Instagram using filters to have light-colored eyes. She did it for so long that she started to hate her eye color and decided to buy contact lenses. She went out for a walk and fortunately, a man was selling them on the corner of her house. Without hesitation, she bought a green pair from him, put them on, and finally, her dream had come true. But what the seller didn't tell her was that she would see everything in green. She tried to take them off, but she had a strange allergic reaction and couldn't remove them again. That's how Estefania Gisela saw everything in green and lived without ever being able to match her clothes again. For this reason, you shouldn't keep antique dolls in your room. Esmeralda Pamela loved collecting antique dolls. She liked them so much that she spent all her savings to buy them. Her brother, who slept in the same room, hated those dolls because they scared him and he said they were haunted. She didn't pay attention to him, but one day she started to feel like she was being watched. At night, she had nightmares and the room began to smell rotten. One day she came in and saw that the dolls had changed places and that strange, nauseating smell had filled the room. Very scared, Esmeralda Pamela decided to grab her dolls to throw them away, and immediately her hands were covered with that disgusting smell. What she didn't know was that her brother would grab her dolls and fart in their faces because he hated them. That's how Esmeralda Pamela threw away all her dolls and her hands were left with the smell of her brother's fart forever. For this reason, you shouldn't travel by plane at 3 in the morning. Tatiana Liliana was very much in love. She had a long-distance boyfriend she hadn't met yet. They lived in different countries, but she still loved him. One day, she woke up and greeted him like every morning, but he told her that he had met someone else and they wouldn't be together anymore. Tatiana Liliana became very sad. She cried all day, watched dramatic movies, and walked down the street listening to sad music. One night, Tatiana Liliana decided that she would travel and try to win him back. She took a plane at 3 in the morning, arrived, did her hair, got her nails done, and went straight to his house. When she walked in, she was in for a surprise. Actually, all that time she had been talking to an old scammer. Very angry, Tatiana Liliana slapped him, but her freshly done nails were so strong that she tore his head off and kept it as a trophy forever.